He is one of only 4 coaches in college hockey history with 800 wins. He just keeps on trucking. Michigan's Red Berenson joining us now. Red, I know that last year was tough to take at the end of the year, coming so close and just short of the NCAAs with that loss to Minnesota. How would you assess what the 2014-15 season was like for you guys?
Well, it was up and down. We really got off to a slow start. We had some tough non-conference games on the road, and then we came home and we kind of put it together for about 7 games, and we lost a tough game at Boston College just before the break, and we really had to regroup, starting with the GLI, and the GLI was good to us. We played well. Our goalie Racine played well. And we moved on into a tough schedule in the Big Ten. And I thought we played pretty well. We give ourselves a chance to win the Big Ten, came up 1 game short. Give ourselves a chance to win the Big Ten tournament, and we came up 1 game short. So our team was close, but you know, close doesn't count in hockey. And so we feel, I think you heard Alex Kyle talk about, we need to be better this year.
Red, you lose 3 dynamic scorers up front in Zach Hyman, Dylan Larkin, Andrew Kopp. Obviously, other guys leave the program with eligibility as well. How does that change the identity and what this Michigan vintage will look like?
Well, I don't think it changes our team. We had a good team last year. And in fact, I think we led the country and led the conference in scoring. But it was our defensive posture and defensive lack of let's say our goals against was too high. We were about 35th in the league defensively, or in the country, and you're not going to go very far with that. So the one thing we'll miss in Zach Hyman, Kopp, and Dylan Larkin, they were 3 of our hardest working guys, and we have a lot of guys that need to pick up the pace this year, not just in offense, but in defensive awareness. And of course, there's always pressure on the goalies at Michigan to be better.
Well, Red, you and I have spoken at length about the 1 goalie versus multiple goalie system, and you told me last year when we talked, it's easy to go with 1 goalie if you have a guy like a Turco or a Steve Shields or an Al Montoya. How does the goaltender situation look to shake out this coming year?
Well, we do have Steve Shields, so that's a good sign, except the bad news is he doesn't have any eligibility left. Steve Shields has joined us as our volunteer goalie coach. And the advantage for our goalies will be that Steve will be on the ice every day with them. And they'll get some attention, they'll get constant attention, and hopefully be ready to have their best year. I think the job is still wide open, whether we're a 1 goalie team or a 2 goalie team. But Steve Shields is going to help us make those decisions and help our goalies as well. So I think we'll be better in goal this year.
Red, over the course of your career, what has the national team development program being just down the street meant to the Michigan hockey program?
Well, you know, it sounds like it's meant a lot because we've had a lot of players come to our program through that program. But in reality, I mean, the kids that came to Michigan through the program were probably kids that we would have recruited anyway. And most of them are Michigan kids. Take Dylan Larkin, for example, or Andrew Kopp. They came through the program, but they were local kids. They were the kind of kids that we'd be recruiting anyway. We can't go and see that team any more than any other team, any other school. The only thing is it's closer. So, and we have to pick our spots. We only have so many evaluations and contacts, so we have to be careful as well. But I think it's been good for hockey. I think it's been good for college hockey. There are some coaches who might disagree. But definitely it's brought all the best players together and given them a chance to develop.
Red, there's been a lot of conversation over the last couple of years about appealing to a new fan, trying to get college hockey to a broader audience, but at the same time being aware of what tradition means in this sport. How hard do you think that balance is?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, the future of college hockey hopefully will include some expansion and hopefully will include some new conferences. And I don't expect to be coaching when that happens, but I'll be a big fan, and I'd be looking forward to it. I think the tradition in college hockey is there, and we're never going to lose that. But I like the direction it's going, and I think it's never been better than it is today. And whether you judge that by the number of kids graduating with their degrees, whether you judge it by the number of college players playing in the NHL now, it's the highest it's ever been, and the number of American players that are coming into the NHL through the college route has never been as high as it is now. So I really like the direction of college hockey.
Specifically in the Big Ten, Red, do you believe that this conference needs to expand to stay relevant long term?
I think the conference probably will expand just through time. I hate to feel like we need to expand right now. You know, I played in the original 6 in the NHL, and we used to play 70 games, so we played each other 14 times. So you talk about rivalries, and no one talked about expansion then. It was obvious that expansion would be available, but it wasn't like it was a need. Right now, there are some people that feel like it's a need, but I like the conference, I like its potential, and I like the future expansion possibilities.
Red, whether you're around for it or not, there has been conversation about the hockey conference expanding by trying to find a single sport affiliate. The Big Ten opened that door with lacrosse. There are teams out there, such as Arizona State, searching for a home. Would you be in support of a move like that?
Oh, definitely. I think we're all open to whatever makes sense for the Big Ten Conference, and it might start with academics, and it might lead to the fact that they support hockey and sponsor hockey. Their facility would be important. I mean, everything's got to be up to the Big Ten standards, but I definitely support that.
All right, 2 more for you, Red. I know you've been at this for a long time, and you know Michigan perhaps as well as anyone on this earth. What has it been like for you to coach this long at your alma mater?
Well, it's been tremendous. You know, when I came back, I really didn't know where this would end up. My plan wasn't to be a career college coach, but I think I've kind of grown back into being around college kids and around school and watch them develop. And you know, one of the great things about it, not just the hockey, the competition, the winning and losing and living and dying with your team and your school, but it's watching these kids 10 years after they get out of here. And one of my kids came back this past summer to a golf outing, and he was explaining to me this neurosurgery that he just performed, where they had to stop a patient's heart to close off an aneurysm and then restart it within so many seconds, and he pulled it off, and he was so proud of that. And I looked at him, I said, I'm pretty proud of you too. I mean, that's amazing. So it's not just the guys that are playing on TV and we get to watch them that played at Michigan, but it's the guys out there making a difference, and I think it's pretty special. I've been lucky to be at Michigan. I've been lucky to coach the kind of kids that we've had here.
Well, Red, I was going to follow up with what the value is of a Big Ten education experience, but I think you just gave me as good an answer as I'll possibly get. So what you're telling me is that you guys don't teach that kind of neurosurgery technique in the locker room?
Well, you know, and I don't remember that player having that good of hands on the ice, but certainly he's done it off the ice, and good for him. And he's not the only one. We've had 2 or 3 go into neurosurgery. We've had orthopedic surgeons and so on. Most college coaches could brag about their players just like I am, and I think that's why we're still in college hockey.
Michigan's Red Berenson. Red, as always, truly appreciate chatting with you.
Good talking to you guys.
Thanks, Coach.